Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy, Sports and Fitness Rants? I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today, as usual, man. You guys know what to do on this channel. It's all about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, stopping them from rewriting history. And in this video, we're going to talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers and how they've done something that LeBron James never did when he was on the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're 9-0 for the first time in their franchise's history, guys. 9-0. LeBron James never went 9-0 on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Even with his super team of Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, never opened up a season 9-0 on the Cleveland Cavaliers. And we're going to talk about this video because, once again, this exposes LeBron James and the greatness of him. The Cleveland Cavaliers are going to erase this man. Excuse me, guys. And I want to thank you guys, everyone across the world, everyone across the states has been supporting my channel. Once again, guys, I am truly humbled. Like I said, shout out about the membership, all the real basketball fans out there, man. Real recognized real, man. Much respect to all you guys for standing up, man. We must continue to do this, set the record straight, hold the standard, man. Thank you. And you guys know what to do. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, like I said, man, I wanted to talk briefly about the Cleveland Cavaliers. Shout out to them, man. Shout out to Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, what's the dude's name? Garland. Just shout out to all those guys on that team, man, for the way that they've been playing. And like I said, man, they're 9-0, right? The Cleveland Cavaliers, 9-0. And they're 9-0, guys, for the first time in their franchise history. Now, when I was growing up watching the NBA in the 80s and the 90s, the Cleveland Cavaliers were a very formidable team. In the late 80s into the early 90s, I've told you guys in the past that the Cleveland Cavaliers were essentially supposed to be, they were being touted and pumped up as the next team. They were supposed to be the next team up in the pecking order, right? You had the Boston Celtics at the top team of the 80s, right? Then the Detroit Pistons would take the torch, you know what I'm saying? And they would be the next team in the Eastern Conference in the 80s. And then after the Detroit Pistons and the Boston Celtics, right, you had teams like the Atlanta Hawks, you had the Milwaukee Bucks in the early to mid-80s. But then in the late 80s, you had the Cleveland Cavaliers, became a very formidable team. They had talent, man. You're talking about guys like Mark Price, Ron Harper, Craig Elo, Hot Rod Williams, Larry Nance, Brad Daugherty. Like, these are the guys that were on that team, man. You had a very formidable team, man, and they were very well coached by Lenny Wilkens. So they were supposed to be the team that people thought was going to be the next team to maybe make the NBA Finals out of the Eastern Conference after the Celtics, after the Detroit Pistons, right? People thought it was going to be the talented Cleveland Cavaliers. Where we're talking about talent, guys, if you look at the Cleveland Cavaliers in the late 80s, 88, 89, and then you talk about the early 90s, 90, 91, 92, the Cleveland Cavaliers would routinely have about 5-6 guys in double figures, scoring-wise, for the regular season. They were a well-balanced team, right? They were the sum of their parts. I've talked about this before. I've done a video on the forgotten teams of the Cleveland Cavaliers of the early 90s. And like I said, how they were supposed to be the next team up. But they were a very good team in the late 80s, early 90s. Remember, they were in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Chicago Bulls in 1992. They lost 4-2 to the Chicago Bulls. They lost to the Bulls in the second round in the 1993 playoffs, right? And they lost to the Bulls in 88 as an upset. That's why it was such a crazy, and that's why that shot by Michael Jordan in 89 is so celebrated. The Bulls were not supposed to beat the Cavs in 88 or in 89. They were the underdogs. They were not supposed to be that team yet. They didn't have the talent of a Cleveland Cavaliers top to bottom. You had Michael Jordan, but Scottie Pippen was unheard of, unknown, undeveloped. Same with Horace Grant. Same with a B.J. Armstrong, Paxson. These guys, Bill Cartwright was a journeyman, right? These guys were not guys that you would know that you would think the Bulls would be formidable like that. And when they were able to beat them in those first rounds, Michael Jordan averaging 40-plus points a game in these series, damn near, that's what made it so impressive. That's why it was so special what Michael Jordan did, that shot. That's why it was so meaningful. The Cleveland Cavaliers were the better team. And all of those years that the Cleveland Cavaliers had talent, they were a good team, they never went 9-0 at the beginning of a season, right? So when you think about the history of the Cleveland Cavaliers, I believe they've been in the NBA for 55 years now, the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm going to 55 seasons, I want to say. That's a pretty extensive history. And when we talk about LeBron James, and people always talk about LeBron James in his time in Cleveland and what he did for Cleveland and how great he was in Cleveland, that he never had any help in Cleveland, And then you think about him leaving and then coming back. And the second stint, you had Kyrie Irving there, Kevin Love, Iman Shumpert, Tristan Thompson, Richard Jefferson, J.R. Smith. I mean, you had a host of players, good, solid role players, around 3-star players. That's a super team that they built up. LeBron James literally would not go back to Cleveland unless they traded Andrew Wiggins for Kevin Love. He demanded that. He had Kyrie Irving already there. And like I said, all those other role players that I talked about were very good players that contributed to that 2016 championship. But the Cleveland Cavaliers were a very good team of talent. They never went 9-0 to start a season. And this is what I'm talking about when I talk to you guys about LeBron James and when his fans say he wasn't the favorite. Oh, LeBron James wasn't the favorite more times in the finals. And they use it as an excuse. They think that actually is an excuse or a crutch for LeBron James. And they want to point to his competition. Oh, he wasn't supposed to win because he wasn't the favorite. And I've told you, no, all that does is expose LeBron James and the inconsistent tendencies of him and his teams. So this goes to why the Cleveland Cavaliers never opened up 9-0 to start a season, even though you had all that talent, even though you played in one of the weakest Eastern conferences in the history of the NBA. You still didn't open up 9-0. Now, one of those years, 2016, 2017, you guys never opened up 9-0 with all that talent you had on the team. But this year, the Cleveland Cavaliers are 9-0 for the first time in the history of that franchise. And Donovan Mitchell leading this team to things that LeBron James never did. And he's not playing on a super stacked team that he built up by collusion and calling guys up. He's playing with the guys that they've been drafting there. Guys like Mobley, guys like Garland, right? And they've made trades for guys like Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, and a Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell in his first stint on the Cleveland Cavaliers, guys, his first year, I believe this is his third year in the Cavs, I want to say his first year on the Cavaliers, or maybe this is his second year, I can't remember. But his first year on the Cavaliers, he broke LeBron James' record for most 40-point games in a season, guys. Think about that. Donovan Mitchell, in his first year on Cleveland, and I did a video about this, he broke LeBron James' 40-point mark for 40-point games in a season. And LeBron James' 40-point games in a season wasn't impressive. I think it was like 7 or something like that. It wasn't impressive because LeBron James don't have a potent offensive game like that. And that's where he gets exposed. Donovan Mitchell broke your 40-point mark in his first season on the Cleveland Cavaliers. So Donovan Mitchell's been erasing LeBron James from the record books, doing his best. And once again, the Cleveland Cavaliers have done something that they never did with LeBron James on that team. But, you know, it's funny, man. Michael Jordan left Chicago Bulls in 1998. The Bulls have not been to an NBA Finals since. They've been to one Eastern Conference Finals in 2011 with Derrick Rose and that team that they had there. And yes, they may have been able to be more consistent if Derrick Rose never had that bad injury. But essentially, since Michael Jordan has left, the Bulls have been in purgatory. They've been a bottom team, a garbage team. Garbage. Ever since he left. The Chicago Bulls are not doing things that they haven't done or doing things that they didn't do with Michael Jordan. Meanwhile, the Cleveland Cavaliers literally are 9-0 for the first time in their franchise history. But they want to talk to you always about LeBron James and what he did on Cleveland and all this stuff. Playing that weak Eastern Conference. He never opened up a season 9-0. And like I said, Donovan Mitchell broke his 40-point games in a season in his first year on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Insane. You guys know the deal, man. These are the facts here. Shout out to Cleveland Cavaliers opening up the season 9-0 for the first time in their franchise's history. Never doing that with LeBron James and his super team when he was there. Never did that. Opened up 9-0. Remember, guys, Michael Jordan, the Bulls, never lost 3 games consecutively with Michael Jordan on the team. Never lost 3 games consecutive. Remember, when Michael Jordan retired in 1994, that first season without Michael Jordan, they opened up the season with 2 3-game losing streaks, guys. In their first 10 games, 2 3-game losing streaks. Without Michael Jordan, they didn't lose 3 games in a row for an entire decade, damn near. LeBron James never even started a season 9-0. The Cleveland Cavaliers are doing things that LeBron James never led the Cleveland Cavaliers to. Once again, LeBron James won a championship on Cleveland. Great for him on his super team in a weak East. You guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.